Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. So I've managed to pick up some brand new headlights. I have a brand new driver's side and passenger side. So these are the two I'm focusing on. These are the driver's side ones. As you can see, my original driver's side ones are very fogged up. Long story short, I've opened these up before, sealed them, and didn't seal them correctly. So it resulted in them fogging up like this. I've retrofitted in a MLED 2.0 basilisk and some really nice aftermarket halos. But, you know, the new ones use OEM halogen bulbs, which aren't as bright, so I would like to go ahead and replace those. So we're gonna have to do that. However, to do that, we need the oven. So what we're going to have to do is we're gonna have to bake the headlight. So we have to set the oven to about 220, 250 degrees. All right, guys, so the oven has reached 200 degrees, 250 degrees, my bad. So now what we're going to do is I'm gonna have to, let's see, I'm gonna use a cutting board. Well, first things first is I'm gonna want to pull out the bulbs, and since I can't pull out this bulb, I have to basically just secure the wires a bit, which in this case is just going to be pushing it up like this. That's it. Now I'm going to walk in front of the camera. I'm taking out this cutting board of mine. I'm going to put the cutting board inside. And now we're going to take the headlight. I like to put, for this Miata headlight, I like to put mine in like so. And we're going to leave it in there for about 7 minutes. I will be back in 7 minutes. All right, and I am back. It's been 7 minutes. So now we're just going to it's hot. It's hot. So, yep, we're going to remove the headlight. Now, I do have to be quick with this, so I'm just going to move you guys up. Basically, have a nice little tool here. All I do is I stick it into the crevices of the headlight, and I just spread it open. Yeah, we're gonna have to stick it back in there. All right, we're gonna stick it in for 5 minutes or so and continue from there. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. So let's try this again. We're gonna stick our hand in here, pull this guy out. So, like I said, our goal is to try and get one of the corners. Another thing, because of the aftermarket stuff, or at least this is an issue I've experienced using the aftermarket stuff and reopening it, it gets everywhere. Mainly because mine leaked out of my seals. So that is something I have to be careful of so it doesn't get all over the place, because once it cools, it's sticky. And you can ask a few of the things in my bedroom that are very sticky. No, it really does smell like the 90s. So as you can see, I'm just pulling that goop, that extended goop stuff off, pushing it open. Now I will say, when doing the OEM stuff, it was not this bad, but it likes to sit inside of these channels, which you know, this headlight has the same issues. But as you can see, we now have my headlight, my aftermarket headlight exposed, which again, this is a by LED 3.0. So I'm gonna let this cool down. Once it cools down, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna take out the headlight, and I should be good to go on the next headlight. Next thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to shave down this, and then basically also trim the rear here. Now the plan is going to be to, so this is an MLED 2.0, like I keep saying, very bright, top of line. That's gonna go inside of my housing. I have a new one of these, which is a projector shroud. This one used to have the BMW style LED, but I really didn't like it because all is just two little LEDs right here that are powered, and it's expected that those two LEDs will just make this whole. And while it does, you know, you have hot spots because the LEDs start up here, and by the time you're down here, it's dim. And I'm not a fan of that. It also was just a switchback and non-sequential. So I 3D printed these ones, which I believe you'll see in this video. If not, is what it is. So this is going to be the goal. So this will basically sit like this and give me a really nice startup animation and everything that you guys will see. However, I have one headlight, one brand new headlight that's defective from factory. So I have this headlight, which is my driver headlight. Basically, you can move the bowl freely, and this is supposed to be an adjustment thing. It should not be like this. I wonder if I can fix that, in all honesty. Hold on. Nope, I can't get it to go. Anyways, I'm gonna have to return that one because these headlights are expensive and I don't feel like messing with that. As you can see here, I have the other passenger headlight. This one does not have that issue, doesn't wobble or anything. But so now I'm gonna break this headlight open, and the goal is for today to basically be able to finish everything on this and hopefully reseal it today. My only worry is I don't have anything to reseal it. I do, but I just don't know where it is. I think it's in a storage unit somewhere. But we're gonna open this up. We're going to try and be careful as possible. I'm actually, just for myself, I'm gonna take video of that little gap there. And yeah, hopefully I can get this done. So it's got a few little tabs that I'll have to worry about and everything. But overall, it should be okay. We'll find out. But yeah, so now I'm going to stick my $500, well, I actually got a really good deal on these. I paid $250 for these, but we're going to stick this inside of here. So I'm doing $220 because I want to slow cook, just because since it's brand new, I don't want to like harm any of the plastic, where those were a lot more worn down and everything. So we're going to have Alexa set a timer for 10 minutes. She's not going to listen to me at all. And I will be back after those 10 minutes. So while that's cooking, I'm also going to show this off. This is the projector shroud. And basically, that lens right there, the MLED, is going to have to fit in here. However, this is way too big for the Miata bowl. Honestly, so this is called a 3-inch lens. So this lens is 3 inches in diameter. In all reality, should have gone with the 2.5 inch. The 2.5 inch would have been much, much easier to work with. And from speaking to another guy who's done this before, not Nine Lives Racing. If I remember, I'll throw his name up. But he highly suggested that during shipping with the MLEDs, when they're in the headlight, they can get bounced loose or something. And he said he's had a lot of trouble with just shipping that one. So he's gone down to 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch also sits easier in the bowl and just overall is easier to work with in regards to that versus a 3 inch. However, I wanted something bright, so basically the factory NB1 Miata LEDs kind of suck. I wanted something bright, so instead I went for the brightest on the market, which was a pretty penny, but that's okay. Okay, I'm back, so we're going to do it like we did with the other headlight, where it's kind of, I walk as fast as possible, especially because I went with a cooler temperature. So I'm going to set you guys right here, and I'm hoping that works for everyone. I'm going to take it out with the big old pan. I can smell it. But yeah, we definitely took too much time, so I'm gonna have to throw this back in for a little bit, and I will proceed from there. Probably gonna throw it in for another 7 or so minutes. And I will be back. Okay, and it has been 7 minutes, so we're gonna try this again. One of the fun things I will say is my original ones, when I opened those, it smelled like the 90s. Which is strange that I even know what that smell is like, because I'm a, you know, pre-90s person. God, that smell is something else. So here you can see the brand new headlight lens is off of this. We're gonna put that there because that's the thing I don't want to scratch up at all. And then we have my new project, which is going to, wow, this is clean, which is going to be this headlight. So while everything's still warm, I do think I can reutilize the OEM sealant stuff. I'm just gonna have to preheat this before I put the lens on, but I do believe I can reuse it. I will try. But so, first things first is we're gonna let this cool down, and then I'll come back, and I'll see you guys shortly. Basically, all I'm going to do is I'm taking the Dremel and I'm just shaving off what I need, what I think I need, and going from there. And then I test fitted it. I test fit it, shave more off, test fit, shave off, test fit, shave off. So yeah, I'm going to take care of that off camera, and I will see you guys in a bit. So I'm going to start off by opening up this little hook area, and we're just going to go zoom. So as you can see, here's the headlight. All I've done for now is secure this with a 3M VHB 5952 tape, I believe, just because that's the highest temperature rating tape and everything, and I just wanted to have it be hot. I don't have the power source for the LED right now, but I do have the power source for, well, a power source for the DRL. So we're going to start that up. So here. So every time the Miata starts, I will have that startup animation. One more time. That's awesome. So I guess we'll get to a full time. So now I believe I'm not going to be putting in a turn signal. I'm going to leave it so I can add a turn signal if need be, but the reason why I don't want to add one is for the sequential turn signal on the Miata, which is going to be this. And that looks awesome. Oh, I love it so much. And then comes back and you have a DRL. That looks absolutely phenomenal. I can't wait to see it on the road. The only improvements that I'd like is I wish I could have gotten it so that this filled all the way, but that won't happen. And I wish I could get it so this white part would be blocked, but I don't think that'll happen either. However, I will say I'm going to be using some RTV, and that 3M tape takes about 72 hours in order to heal up correctly. Alright guys, so I've finished up with the headlight for the most part. Now we're on to the resealing. So I just blew this headlight out and everything. And then for the lens, because I can't take it off right now, let's see if I can get this to show. Can't tell. I think there's a glare. You can kind of see it, but I did end up making a little cut in that little shroud area. So I'm hoping that that cut will, well, to be fair, that cut looks as if it will allow for more than enough space for that DRL to fit, which is awesome. So I'm going to put it in. Excuse me. I'm going to put in the headlight and we're going to try and reseal this. Now, I'm just going to squeeze it. Well, what I've done is I squeezed it together a little bit before putting it in. Just trying to line it, basically making sure everything lines up. Okay, so reason for the screwdriver is, actually I want the larger side. Just the goal is to be able to lift up the tabs and everything and not do that. Yeah, which I think I'm gonna have to heat this shit up. So, let's get this shit heated. Again, 220. We're going to start at 5 minutes for this one. Always try and center it as best as possible. Alright, we're going to set a 5-minute timer, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, so I have now gotten a bunch of clips. I've actually had these clips before for the previous one. Basically threw it in at 220, let it sit for a little bit, clamped the top, I put it in on top, and now this is the bottom side that I'm doing. My biggest fear is this corner right here though. Basically, let's see, this one section right here, which is actually going down, that's just very difficult to get to, but it does look like it's going down. But so these are just 1-inch spring clips. They provide a significant amount of force, so right now I'm literally just letting it cool down like this. Of course, camera looks horrid. I'm just letting everything cool down, and I'll double check it out after.